565, the number to call to chat to Olivier or Gary Bennett this evening. We've got our two commentators in the studio with us as well. Sunderland commentator Nick Barnes. Hello, Barnesy.
Good evening.
And our Newcastle United commentator Matthew Raisbeck. Hello, Razor.
Hi, Colin.
Good evening to everybody. I'm going to annoy you even more, Gary, but we've started with Sunderland for the last two nights in a row, so we switched to Newcastle United this evening. I know you weren't able to be at Wembley, Olivier, but it was quite the occasion wherever you were watching it from.
To be fair, I didn't expect that sort of result, and just the way we played as well on the day was just magnificent. You know, there's not one player you can blame. I think he hasn't had a good game. Everybody worked hard. Defensively, we looked solid for over 90 minutes, and going forward, we always knew we could hurt them. But I thought the midfield three worked a treat. You know, the amount of pressure, winning tackles, and running in behind that really kind of shocked the back line from Liverpool. So no, it was a great afternoon. If you're a Newcastle fan, great to watch.
Yeah, because there's an argument that Liverpool didn't play particularly well, but a lot of that is Newcastle's credit.
I think Liverpool, to be fair, for the past 10, 15 days since the PSG game, lost a bit momentum and belief. We played them at the right times. I think they were, you know, they were already thinking they were going to win that Champions League. Once they end up playing PSG, and PSG show them, you know, real football. And so Newcastle, you know, they got bullied. You know, within 10 days, 3 times in a row. It's hard to take for a club that big as Liverpool, but totally deserved for Newcastle.
Much to Gary Bennett's chagrin, the celebrations continue, Matthew Raisbeck.
Yes, well, I just wanted to ask Ollie before we moved on, because you mentioned the midfield three, but what about the two fullbacks? Because I thought Kieran Trippier was immense, and Tino Livramento out of position at left back. Fantastic as well, obviously up against Mo Salah, and then had a hand in Newcastle's winning goal. He was brilliant too.
I think when you talk about Livramento, you know, everybody put a question mark on him before the game, and the way he performed on the day was excellent. You know, he's, you know, on his left foot, a couple of tricky incidents, but overall he managed to keep the winger quiet, which is, you know, it's a big statement.
Yeah, it's a big statement when the winger in question is Mo Salah. I mean, that's
exactly. And he's young. He's still learning. You know, but he showed real character with that performance. So you know, looking forward to see a bit more.
We're going to find out a little bit more. We're going to find out in dribs and drabs, I suspect, over the next 7 days or so, exactly what is going to happen next Saturday in terms of trophy celebrations, Razor. But we do know more now than we did this time yesterday.
Yeah, it's still an incomplete picture, but here is what we know. There's going to be a free event, open air, on the Town Moor next Saturday afternoon, and that is the 29th of March. The gates will open at 1:30, and the event is expected to run between 4 and 8 next Saturday. There'll be a main stage with a DJ and some live bands. Highlights from Newcastle's run to Wembley in the League Cup will be shown on big screens before a full screening and a rerun of the final itself to watch and enjoy. Then the team will arrive and lift the trophy on stage. So that's the plan. And then when it all ends, or as it ends, Newcastle say that they will close with what they're calling a spectacular show from club shirt sponsor Seller, but they haven't said any more about what that will entail. That's the general plan for the day. We can tell you that alcohol won't be served at the event on the Town Moor. Newcastle say there'll be a limited number of spaces available for wheelchair users, and if you want to bring a scarf, that's fine, but flags are not allowed. There is full information, including some frequently asked questions on the Newcastle United website, so if you need to find out more, or you're just curious and want to know everything about the event, then go to the Newcastle United website for all the details. If you want to attend the event next Saturday, the trophy celebrations on the Town Moor, then you have to register your interest, but registering interest is not a guarantee that you will be able to attend. What the club says you have to do is go to book.newcastleunited.com. book.newcastleunited.com. That's the only way to register interest. Now, season ticket holders and MAGs or MAGs Plus members can register interest now. The window for those supporters opened earlier today. Then from 10 tomorrow morning, all other fans can apply to try to get to the event. And Newcastle say you have until midnight on Sunday to do it. Registration is one per supporter number, but adults can add one junior ticket to their registration with the adult supporter number. Again, information like that about the registration process is all on the Newcastle United website, so I'd encourage you to go there and read up on everything. Finally, Newcastle City Council have provided us with a statement today. They say they are working closely with the football club to finalise details for what they call an eagerly anticipated celebration, which they say will be a fantastic day in the city. The council says full details of road closures for this major event will be confirmed in the coming days. And the council adds that you should plan ahead and use public transport where possible and allow extra time for travel, as we expect lots of people will want to be part of this exciting event. So more details coming from the council in terms of road closures and travel, and from Newcastle United a few more specifics about the event next Saturday, so we expect those over the coming days.
Yes, and as soon as we get to them, we will bring them to you. Back to things on the pitch, not at St James's Park, but Dan Burn, story of the week, story of the 10 days, could make his England debut tonight.
Yeah, it's very much been Dan Burn's week, hasn't it? And it could continue in brilliant fashion tonight for England, because they play Albania in a World Cup qualifier at 7:45 at Wembley. As soon as we get the team news, we'll let you know. England's opening World Cup qualifier tonight, and the first match for new manager Thomas Tuchel. According to some reports this afternoon, Burn is in line to start the game, but we don't know that for certain yet. As soon as we have any information, we'll let you know. And also about the other Newcastle players in the squad, because Anthony Gordon and Tino Livramento are in there. It'd be good for Gordon to play, because he is still suspended for a few more weeks in domestic football. And obviously Livramento, as we've just talked about, was so good at Wembley last Sunday. Now, Thomas Tuchel called up 26 players to the squad for this round of international games, but he's left Morgan Gibbs-White of Nottingham Forest, Liverpool defender Jarell Quansah, who played at right back, or at least started at right back against Newcastle last weekend, and the goalkeeper from Southampton, Aaron Ramsdale, out of the matchday squad. He's had to cut 3 players because UEFA rules state that managers can only select 23 for any fixture. So from a squad of 26, they're down to 23. There's another game as well for England at Wembley on Monday night. They host Latvia.
How surprised were you, Olivier, when you heard that Dan Burn had been called up by England?
I was happy for him. Don't get me wrong. Surprised? No, I think he's deserved it for the past couple of years. You know, if you can select Maguire, Dan Burn, since we qualified for Champions League, has been as good, if not better. So I just feel like it's slightly too late. Is it too late? Well, it's never too late.
It's inarguably never too late. Yeah,
but totally deserved it. But when you see that the other centre backs that have been there for the past 2 to 3 years, you said, having him now is great. But I truly believe that it should have been, if England had an eye on him for the past couple of years, it should have been probably a year or 2 ago. As a left back, it was doing the job. Knowing that he was a centre back, I thought he'd done a great job as a left back, and this year as a centre back is you cannot fault him.
No Maguire, no Stones in this squad. The other central defensive options, Mark Gay Levi Colwill, who can also play as a fullback. Esri Konsa of Aston Villa, he sometimes plays as a fullback. Some reports today have said it'll be Byrne and Konsa as two centre-halves. I don't know whether Thomas Tuchel might be minded to play with three. Obviously, Jarell Quansah's not available tonight, having been cut from the initial group for this game. I mean, Kyle Walker's in there as well and has played inside for England before, rather than at full-back. So there's one or two options, but a couple of big names missing. Be a great opportunity for Dan Burn. Hopefully we'll get the team news. It's usually an hour before kickoff, but sometimes for England you can get it an hour and 15 minutes before. So, like I say, as soon as we know, we'll tell you. But looks good. Looks like Dan Burn will be in it, according to reports this afternoon.
It should start. It should start. It deserves a start. I think left-sided centre back is quite. It's quite an easy one for him, but I hope he's going to get it.
And we will tell you as soon as we know. Other international players, of course, away with their countries. Razor, some have played already.
Yeah, well, a significant night for Sandro Tonali for Italy. They were beaten 2-1 by Germany in Milan. It was in a Nations League quarter-final, a playoff tie, first leg. So Italy beaten 2-1. Sandro Tonali scored, though. He put them 1-0 up in the 9th minute before two second-half goals turned it around. It was Tonali's second goal for his country in what was his 22nd international appearance. So another good night for the Newcastle midfielder. Obviously an important player now for the Italian national team. As far as the Brazilian boys are concerned, well, Bruno and Joelinton both played in their late 2-1 win over Colombia in a World Cup qualifier. Bruno got 78 minutes. However, Newcastle's captain was booked, and it means he's going to be suspended for the match against Argentina on Wednesday. A game he'd have been desperate to play in, obviously Brazil, Argentina. I mean, there was a bit of that at Wembley, wasn't there? Alexis McAllister up against Bruno and Joelinton. So he'll be disappointed to miss that, but maybe not a bad thing for Newcastle because Bruno just plays so much football domestically and at international level. So yellow card means he's suspended. Joelinton came on against Colombia, and that was in the first half of the game, so he got a bit of football and he won his 6th international cap. And Martin Dubravka played for Slovakia in a goalless draw with Slovenia. Another Newcastle player in action there. They've obviously got quite a few away on international duty, and we'll keep an eye over the next few days and see if any others get some time on the pitch.
Yeah, just when we were talking, Olivier, about Dan Burn there and how long it's taken to get international recognition, I think you can maybe put Joelinton in that bracket as well, in the sense that 3 years ago, I don't think anybody would have considered the notion of Joelinton playing for Brazil, and yet here he is, a relative regular now.
Yeah, before the arrival of Eddie Howe, I think Joelinton was dead and buried. To be honest, everybody was trying to find him a club to go to. So yeah, having seen him developing and being the player he is now, you would never imagine that. A couple of years back, but well deserved again. Is one of them players who bring a lot of power into midfield. Is running behind and physically abuse players at times. We're very lucky at Newcastle at the minute to have 3 high profile professional playing that position. All of them play for their country as well, and it's unbelievable. It's Sometimes I'm thinking, some of them bigger clubs would want them, and they could be gone by the summer. But hopefully we've got a dream to sell.
Yeah, there's a separate conversation to be had, which is kind of had at times as well, about whether there is a better midfield 3 in the Premier League or not. There are arguably better individual midfielders in the Premier League, but probably not as a 3.
Better players.